What's up, you guys? John's Moto Garage. Welcome back to the channel. We're on the roof. I'm getting into parkour on the side, but don't worry, today we're talking motorcycles. So you think you want to buy a used motorcycle? Well, tag along with me. I'm going to take you on a real life example of looking at a used bike. I'll show you some of the tricks and tips, things that I've learned along the way when doing the inspection process primarily. This is by no means an exhaustive, all-comprehensive list, but hopefully these things will help you when you're checking out your used bikes. Stay tuned to the very end to see if I end up buying this motorcycle, because this is a real bike I went out to look at potentially to buy. All right, John's Moto Garage, let's hit it.
Yikes.
Hey, ¿qué pasó, amigos? Welcome back to the channel, John's Moto Garage. Here we are in a random parking lot with a beautiful flag waving in the background. Anyway, we're checking out a Vulcan 900 LT. This is the Kawasaki Vulcan. This is a 2010, beautiful two-tone. The LT is fully loaded. You got the saddlebags, passenger backrest, you got the floorboards, crash bars, windshield, comes with everything. This is the touring edition. And I want to show you guys real quick what I do when I come to look at a used motorcycle. This is one on Craigslist. So you show up to the house, obviously, you look at the bike. I'm on my test ride right now, but I'm going to show you a few big things that I look for on the motorcycle.
When possible, find a buddy or somebody who knows what they're doing to go along with you, especially if this is your first bike ever.
First and foremost, I always check out the tires. I like to find the DOT number. The last couple of digits will show you the year the tires were manufactured. You want to check them for wear, for any dry rotting, cracking, anything out of the normal. Make sure it's in line with what the mileage says and when the person said they last had them replaced. I've had people so many times say, yeah, brand new tires. You look at it and they're 6 years old. And I kind of just walk around the whole bike, look for any indication that the bike has been down or dropped, check on the crash bars. Oh, I didn't spot this, but there's some little scuffs. So this bike has been tipped over at some point. Nothing too gnarly. I'm just gonna assume the bike's been off. Look at the engine. Check here for any seeping or leaking oil. Just get a good visual inspection of everything. Always look underneath. The big hang up I have on this bike is that I found oil on the oil plug. A decent amount of oil sitting there. Check under the pipes. Do you have scuffs, scratches, anything like that under the pipes? Those aren't deal breakers, but you're just getting a good idea of the bike, of the condition. So again, just overall looking. You're looking for things like rust, anything like that that may indicate the bike's been sitting out. Check the brake pads. See how much pad you have left on the brakes. This one's cool. It's got newer tires. I think this is a 2015 DOT, which, I mean, to me that seems new, but we're already in 2019. That's crazy. So do your initial walk around on the bike. Try to set your emotions aside. Set aside the excitement of coming and looking at a new motorcycle that you're going to get. Put all that aside and just really look at it objectively. What kind of condition is the bike in? This one's dirty. Looks like it may have sat out at some point or just hasn't been, super well washed. But that's not always horrible. A lot of that can clean up. But you do kind of want to check, does this clean off, or is it something that's kind of, hard water stained on there? Again, looking for any oil buildup. The other bike this guy is selling, he has two of these that he's selling. His other one has a ton of oil buildup all right here. I decided not to buy it because it's just too much. For those mechanically inclined who enjoy those projects, maybe you can get a really good deal on something like that. So you do a good walk around.
Also, something obvious I left out of the video, check oil level, stuff like that.
Take your time. And during this, you may notice that the seller is telling you stories and talking about the bike. I always like to just kind of do my thing and let them say what they will, and usually they'll divulge information that you didn't even ask them. All right, always check turn signals. Good, turn signals are working. Always like to check the brake light. Just little things. Brake light seems to be working. Brake light's working. Once you've done that initial visual inspection, that's checking aesthetically, how does the bike look? Anything obvious? Jump on the bike, throw a leg over, kind of get a feel for it. How does it sit? Now, I would recommend, before you go wasting people's time, go to a dealership, sit on different bikes, decide which bike you want, narrow it down. Don't go private party trying to figure out what kind of bike you want. You should figure that out ahead of time. Determine what kind of motorcycle you want to buy. So that way when you're looking at it, you already know you want that style bike. It's just whether or not this one's the one for you. All right, so next thing you're going to do, turn the key on. If it's fuel injected, let that fuel injection thing kick in. I forget what that's called. Check out the trip meter. Go through the modes. Make sure it's actually matched up. This one, he said, has 16,000 miles, 16,103. Perfect. All that looks good. Check the horn. All right, trying to get acquainted with it. You got high beam, low beam. I forgot to check the high beam, but that's okay. You can check your brake fluid there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start the bike up. Once you start up the bike, just take a second to look and see, does anything abnormal show up? Check engine light, oil light, anything that shouldn't be lit up, is it showing up there? If I end up forgetting, also you always want to check the gas cap. Take it off, look inside, you see noticeable rust, anything like that. Now once you're on the bike, you can rev it up a little bit, and then I like to actually put the kickstand back down and kind of get down low by the engine. Rev it a little bit, see if there's just any abnormal knocking, ticking, clunking, anything like that out of the normal. Anyway, I got to get back. This guy's going to be flipping out thinking I stole his bike. So now you've done that. Everything sounds good. We're going to take it for a test ride. Some people will let you. Some people invite you to. Some people say no way. I will not buy a bike without doing a test ride, even if it's me giving them the cash and my license and everything, and basically saying, look, as long as it checks out, I will buy the bike, but I'm not going to buy it without doing a ride. So we're on the bike now. We're going to do the test ride. Ideally, you want to get out and about where you're not super congested, where you're not going to be stuck in stop go traffic. And the reason being is you really do want to get it, open it up a little bit, because you want to make sure this thing is shifting through the gears smoothly. You want to make sure all the gears are working, and you also want to make sure it's not slipping, and you want to make sure it accelerates smoothly. A lot of people will tamper with, or mess with the exhaust. They drill the baffles out, things like that, and you'll get some surging, or they'll put aftermarket exhaust on there, but they won't retune it, or they won't rejet the carbs. So when you accelerate, you get some surging, which is basically where it's not a smooth acceleration. So it is good to get on it, open it up a little bit. That's the only way you're going to know, because I guarantee you, once you own the bike, you're going to be getting on it, opening it up, and the last thing you want to do is buy a bike, go out there to rip around, and you're stuttering and barely able to make it out of second gear. Try to get a decent test ride in. Holy smokes, we got a mighty long line of cars here. Man, what is going on here? I wonder if we can sneak our way through. I bet we could sneak our way through here. Yeah, she's too busy. She doesn't even notice what's going on. Let's just go this way before I get hit by a car. There we go. We're not breaking any laws here, my friends. All right, so we're doing the test ride, shifting through the gears. Take a moment to check the brakes, front brake, rear brake. Are they soggy? Are they mushy? Are they grinding? Are they not? Does it not feel like they're functioning how they should? And again, all you're doing is getting an overall assessment of what the condition is of the motorcycle, and is it the right bike for you? And is the store, whoa, holy smokes. I don't know if I hit a bump or what happened, but that was some crazy wobble there. Man, I am super lost. But yeah, you're just basically figuring out what kind of condition is the bike in. Does the mileage match up with that condition? Does the way it operates match up with that? Is everything functioning as it should? That's what you're trying to get an idea of. So anyway, you've done that overall assessment. Now you got to make a decision. And don't put pressure on yourself when it comes to making the decision. It's okay to walk away from multiple bikes before you end up buying your bike. And I'd rather you walk away from a good deal, if that means saving yourself from accidentally buying a bike that's not a good deal, if that makes sense. But other things, this has a gas gauge. I can't tell if it's working or not, because it's basically on E, but the light's not lit up for the gas. So I don't know if it's low on gas or what the case is. Anyway, so finally you got to make an overall decision. All right, we're gonna call it a day. And your price on this one was you're looking to get, right?
All right, so there you have it. That's not by any means an exhaustive, fully comprehensive list of what to do when you're buying a used motorcycle or going out to look at a used bike, but hopefully those are some tricks and tips and some real life things that you can apply and that are helpful. So when you guys are out there looking to buy a used motorcycle, especially with the inspection process, you can and hopefully have a better outcome. That bike I ultimately decided not to buy. I just wasn't sure whether or not that was a leak that I was gonna have to deal with, and I hate dealing with that kind of thing, but it was a really good deal. The dude had him priced super well. He was asking only $2,000 for the 2008 Vulcan 900 LT that had about 19,000 miles, and he was willing to let the 2010 Vulcan 900 LT go for only $2,500. So I was potentially going to buy both of those bikes for $4,500. But again, when I'm buying a bike that I know I plan to turn around and sell, I'm very selective, and I just get real hung up on that kind of thing because I don't want to be turning around and handing that off to somebody else, even though those price points were very good. Had I been buying the bike for myself, I probably would have purchased the red and black one. But again, since I knew I was going to sell it, I just didn't want to deal with that potential headache. But at the end of the day, it was a really good deal. For somebody, it'll be a good deal. That guy was letting his bikes go at a more than fair price. I just wasn't the right buyer for them. All right, you guys, John's Moto Garage. As always, thanks for checking out the channel. If you dig the content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it a bunch, and we'll hit you guys up next time. Nos vemos.
Yikes.
Yeah, we got down onto the ground. That was the smartest and probably the only way we could have pulled it out. So, smash the like button, subscribe. We'll hit you guys up on the next one. Adios.